Hey guys, what's going on? This is something I've been working on since the beginning of Black Ops 4, and something I kind of did also for Black Ops 3 is to go and try and find the backstory or the real life inspiration behind the zombie storyline and then also the maps. For Black Ops 3 Shadows of Evil, there was a book that was used for the inspiration, and I'll try and link that so you guys can see what book was used. And it's not Lovecraft. Lovecraft was part of it, but there was also another book that was hinted on Shadows of Evil. So that was something that I saw for that one. And for this one, there were a lot of hints that were dropped in Black Ops 4, like you see on the screen. There's a couple magazine covers that were made for the game, and some used from the comic book. And the first part of this video, if you've seen this part already and you know about this part, you can just skip towards the second half of the video. So that's why I want to put this first. It's going to be a little bit of a repeat for some people and new for some other people. First, I just want to say this is for only the Chaos Theory storyline, and it's about Alistair Rhodes and the real life inspiration behind him. And I'll just start by showing some of the hints that were dropped in the game that led me to find all this stuff. First things first, you'll see a magazine cover or book cover for Tales of Pitfall with Diego on the front, and that was what made me first try and search or go search the Pitfall video game series. And you'll also see that in the Super Nintendo version, the Mayan Adventure, that Diego looks exactly like the character, who is also loosely based off of Indiana Jones. It's kind of like Activision's version of Indiana Jones without the licensing. And so that was one thing that led me to that also, or linked together. And in the real life Dark Horse comics, in issue 3, you'll see that Alistair meets Diego in Mexico, I believe this was, and you see the Pitfall magazine also on the table, and it's referenced in the comic. And throughout that whole issue 3, you'll see Diego on the Pitfall magazine cover. And the one that this is gonna be more. The first part of this is about Alistair Rhodes, the inspiration for him from Pitfall, and more introduces you also to the storyline that they used for Chaos. And like I said, this is gonna be a repeat for some people because I've did a couple things using this already. And I'm just gonna show the clip, and you'll see how it mimics or is the inspiration for the Chaos Theory line, where this girl, her name is Nicole, goes looking for her father who's missing, and a male friend, I forget his name, well, Pitfall Harry actually, is kind of like this version of Diego, and she's Pitfall's version of Scarlet. And I'll let it play, and then this is just to kind of give you an idea. Like I said, Treyarch and Call of Duty, they don't use one thing for inspiration. They kind of piece a lot of things together, which is cool, trying to find each little piece.
What are you doing up here?
I'm looking for wild orchids.
A wild orchid named Kevin McAllister? Bittenbinder told me everything. You're here looking for your deadbeat dad.
He was no deadbeat.
Oh yeah? Then where is he? Why'd he put himself in harm's way when his first responsibility was to his family?
You don't know what you're talking about.
Hey, if it makes you feel any better, my dad was a loser too.
Nothing you've said has made me feel better, Harry. I'm leaving.
Nikki!
That's what my dad called me. You don't know me well enough to call me that.
There's something I've got to tell you.
What?
What I said? I'm sorry. Listen, if he's alive, I'll find him.
I've been following his trail. I think there are more clues in that temple east of here, but I can't get in.
I'll do it. I don't know the meaning of the word can't.
Then you'll probably need this.
Hey, St. Clair's still prowling around. I had a run-in with him and his guide, Puska. I think that guy's some kind of shaman. You wouldn't believe what I saw him do.
And like I said, it's the same storyline. She goes looking for her dad, who's also looking for artifacts, and Pitfall. The dad's name is Kevin McAllister, and that was the first thing that tipped me off is Alistair Rhodes, and they share a similarity there. So then that led me to think, I'm like, well, if they use Kevin McAllister for the first name, I'm like, there's got to be something out there that they used for the second part of his name. Like, where is the Rhodes part of his name fit into everything? Some people, if they do their research, might have found this. Some people might not. But that's something I didn't want to touch on is the fact that, like, unfortunately, it's not like World at War Time and Black Ops 1 where people were just diving into the storyline. I think people just don't want to admit that they moved on to other games. I mean, I think Zombies in the storyline is still pretty good. It's just that, like, it's hard, and I don't want to say, like, I blame Blundell or blame Treyarch for all the interviews that they did, gave a lot of answers. Instead of people creating their own theories or going to search for the answers, they kind of just stopped searching and just waiting for Blundell, and everybody used to, like, comment on YouTube and Twitter, like, when's Blundell going to do the next interview? When are we going to hear from Blundell? Instead of people just going out and trying to find the answers for themselves. And I know it's a different generation, not to sound too old, but, like, people just don't go looking for stuff anymore. They just kind of wait around for answers, and it's just, I think it's cool. I like doing it. I mean, plus I have some free time, and it doesn't take, for me, it doesn't take long. I can kind of maybe get an idea how to search for stuff, and it's just, or just ways to, like, research. But anyways, this first half showed you, or I wanted to show you how they got the Alistair part of the name, and the second part, which I just figured out recently, and I figured I'd do a quick video just to kind of put it out there, and hopefully I, you know, been sitting on it for a couple of weeks now, and I just want to make sure I do make a video so I don't end up not doing it, because sometimes it is hard for me to have some free time. So anyways, a couple photos, and this is just the character, the real life person that they used, and I'll show you in one of these photos who he was, and it's just some clips of the real life person, not the one in the middle. You would think it would be the guy in the middle, but in this one it's the guy on the left. So his name was Erwin Rhodes, and you can see how they flip-flop the name, put an S at the end. And I'm just going to skim over some of this stuff, and you can kind of pause it, go search on your own. He, in a long short, well, he was from Germany. I'm just kind of briefing over it. He was born in Germany, son of a doctor, was a student of philosophy, and the main important part is that he wrote a famous book called Psyche, Psyce, or Psyche, and it says, if you see halfway down the bottom, it remains a standard reference work for Greek cult practices and beliefs related to the soul. So when I saw that, I'm like, wow, this is definitely it. The name matches up, and he is famous for writing a book about Greek cults, which is exactly what we're going through in Chaos story mode. There is a cult. So this is, like I said, and I should say it in the title, that it has spoilers, because up until this point we don't know why they're looking for these artifacts. In Pitfall it kind of touches on it. Maybe Medusa, as we know now, is the main antagonist, it seems like, is probably maybe trying to prolong her life. Maybe Alistair Rhodes also was trying to prolong his life. So that was just one thing, and in the next one, I'll show you, this is the actual book written by him, and if you Google it, you'll find people's interpretation of the book. People went and read their own, or created their own version of what they interpreted from the book and what he meant. And it was published in 2 volumes, 1890 and 1894, and they're really long, and it's the same thing with the Black Ops 3 book that I found. I skimmed over. It's a little bit shorter than this, I believe. And I'll try and link the original book that you can go read it for free. I did find a website that had it for free, and I took a little bit of a one of the first pages out so you can kind of see. And really quickly, like I don't want to drag it on. It says Greek, German classical scholar and friend of I don't know what that says. And he describes the ancient Greek cult of souls and establishes the sources of the belief in the immortality of the soul, exploring its relation to both life before and after death. So it even touches on, or I wonder if they would ever link Mob of the Dead in here because there is a lot of afterlife and stuff like that, like where the soul goes. So this is another screenshot that I took, and it says this belief in the survival of the soul already existed in the earliest Greek writings, but where and from did it originate? In Volume 1, Rhodes examines belief in the soul as it appears in Homeric poetry and within local cults, and finds the idea of an afterlife is already represented in different forms in the works of Hesiod. So he kind of, I guess his book, he summed up uh, the Greek cults and afterlife and the soul. So just wanted to kind of put this out there and the belief in immortality. So as you can probably piece together yourself, Medusa or Alistair Rhodes maybe he was thinking about immortality. And this also reminded me of one of the Alien movies, I think the newest one, where the creator was out looking for immortality or something like that. He was going to other planets. Um, and he was trying to figure out about immortality. It kind of reminded me about that, and I think they might have referenced it in that movie too. This Road Psyche book or Psych, and just I don't want to drag this on too much. I just want to kind of show you guys. And this is just a one page, like a preface, like the beginning of the opening, beginning of the book that the author writes to the reader, just to kind of give them or set the mood, I guess. Um, Greek about the life of the human soul after death, and it's intended to contribute to the history of Greek religion. I'm not going to go read through the whole thing, you can pause it, but like I said, it's about Greek cults and immortality in the soul. So I'm kind of curious to see how much of that they're going to use. Hopefully, they use a lot um, for the second season of Zombies, because I think it's going to be in Black Ops 4. Maybe they'll finish up the Chaos storyline. I don't think it's going to carry over to the next Treyarch game, but I think this is pretty cool, and I hope that they keep using it for inspiration. And that's pretty much it. Just wanted to kind of show you guys who the real life inspiration was for the another part of Alistair Rhodes, and it's pretty cool. I'll do some reading of the books. Didn't really get a chance to do it when I found it. Been a little bit busy, but I'll read it. Look for my main thing is documentaries. If I can go find a documentary somewhere of somebody explaining this or showing it, or maybe like a documentary with some reenactment of it or something like that, I think it would be pretty awesome. But hope you guys liked it. I'll see you guys later.